Okay, I am making Happy New Year's Eve to everyone. I'm making beef stroganoff, ground beef stroganoff, not real beef stroganoff, but ground beef stroganoff. I have my super diced onions, and I have pepper and Mrs. Dash in here. This is the Mrs. Dash. This is the pepper. I'm going to add about half of these onions and then freeze the rest for use for later on. I added the seasonings and onions first because if you give them a second on a little bit of time on the heat, it kind of wakes up the seasonings. I'm just separating the meat. I like little small pieces. So now that that's a bit diced up, I'm going to turn this to 3. And we're going to let that cook for a second. Okay, so at this point, normally I would add Worcestershire sauce. Sorry if I'm butchering that. No one can really say it, can they? But I do not have Worcestershire sauce, so I'm going to add the components of Worcestershire sauce that I have. So I added a teeny bit of soy sauce. I added a little bit more Mrs. Dash. I added a teeny tiny bit of sugar and a little teeny tiny bit of vinegar. Normally I would also add ginger because ginger is also in Worcestershire sauce. I unfortunately do not have ginger, but that is okay. You work with what you have. I'm gonna cook this a little bit more. I like adding Worcestershire sauce because it makes it just adds to the flavor. I really like it. It's not a necessity. I guess that's a preference. I am sad that I don't have ginger in here because I personally love ginger. But it will be okay. We will all survive. No big deal whatsoever. Okay, I'm gonna grab the Dijon mustard now and add that. Give me just one moment, please. Okay, so I added the Dijon mustard, that's that yellow stuff right there, and then I added beef bouillon, like 2 of these spoons. It's a bigger spoon, so I'd say maybe like 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more, of beef bouillon. This is the beef bouillon that I use. I really like it. Now we're just gonna mix that in, and then we're gonna add the cream cheese. I measure with my heart. I don't use exact measurements most of the time, to be honest with you. If you don't like if you don't like a mustard taste, then you could leave it out or just do a small amount to try it. I like how it adds to the meal, so I added a good bit, like a good maybe tablespoon of Dijon mustard. If I had to guess, I'd say about a tablespoon. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's looking really good. Okay, give me just one second. I'm gonna pause the video and open the cream cheese and then plop it in, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I added the cream cheese. I'm letting that melt down a little bit and mixing it in. After this is all incorporated, I'm going to have to put this pan to the side and use my big pan to boil the noodles. I'm gonna put a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit of beef bouillon in the pot. I'm gonna let that boil for maybe like 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add the frozen corn to the noodles. And then, or maybe I should add it to this one. That way it doesn't, yeah, actually spike that. I'm gonna add the frozen corn to this just to make it easier on myself because I don't want any of the corn to fall out when I drain the pasta. So I'm gonna add the frozen corn to this, and then we'll let that cook, and then I'll do these in the big pot with a little bit of beef bouillon. I don't have salt at the moment, so I'm using bouillon in place of salt. There is a lot of salt in bouillon, so I feel like it is totally fine, and it's extra flavor. Also, I'm not sure if you can tell from this video, but do you see all of this? This is grease from the hamburger. I keep the grease. Grease is flavor. It is not as bad for you as people say. Grease and animal fat is actually what helps your body process the meat to digest it easier, because meat is quite hard for your body to digest, especially when there's no fat with it. The fat acts as a, I don't want to say that word, but it just helps your body digest the meat a little bit. But if that's not something that you like, then you can absolutely drain the grease or the fat out of your meat, whatever you want to do, because it's your preference. I leave it in. I have no qualms with a bit of grease. I love it. We are not worried about losing weight right now. We need all of the nutrients we can possibly get. So the grease is staying.